So guys, the idea of this video came from a guy who contacted me in Udemy. His name is Vladimir. I hope he doesn't mind that I'm saying his name. That he gave me this head and he told me to feedback him. What's wrong with the head and how can he improve? And I told him that I could work on the head and I can make a YouTube video if he let me use his head, or this head that he made, not exactly his head, but the head that he made. Can I use it for a YouTube video to kinda... It will be useful for everybody, especially the beginners. And he said, no problem, of course. So let's first take a look at this head, and you see by yourself that it's a little bit off. So first thing that came in mind when you look at it from this point of view is that the neck is kind of crooked and also like a hunchback a little bit. So this guy was looking too much on his cell phone, and you know, you have to be careful with that, because when you always look at your cell phone you can get this kind of a neck. So I will just fix it a little bit, and then I would like to kind of go with the chest area and everything a little bit more forward. Now it looks a little bit better, but still the ear is kind of small, pretty small, although the ear is exactly from the eye to the nose, but this distance is a little bit small compared to the rest of this face, because the eyes are very close together. But we will not change that. We will leave the eyes as they are, and we will just kind of make the head, the overall head, smaller. How to do that? We will just push it with the move brush. The move brush is our greatest friend, although the topology of this is pretty high, I mean high poly. And yeah, you can see here the skull, and we will check it out in a minute. I just have to go to brush, samples, and spotlight projection, turn it off, because this is a spotlight, and when I put it just a few minutes ago I forgot to turn it off, and now my brushes were not working, and you have to be careful about that. So we have a muscle which comes from here down. You see, you know, this muscle is kind of a flat in here, and then it comes down, it goes a little bit bulkier, and it makes this kind of a shape in the neck. In our case here, this muscle is not that good, and also we need the neck to be a little bit more ahead. Also, the head is pretty long back, it's like kind of an alien. So we'll do this with the move brush from very far away, because the move brush should be big. We just do this, and suddenly you see how it started to take shape. Also, we will put the neck a little bit back, and also we know that, maybe you don't know, but I will tell you that the trap muscles are kind of going this direction like this. They are attached here and then in this area. So, and they're going here in the back of the head, and here we can also squeeze it a little bit so we can get this kind of a skull form in the back. Okay, it's starting to look kind of good. So from the front, we see the problems here are a few. One of them is that he has no proper nostrils, and the body is another issue. We will fix it. Let's just fix it a little bit. We'll go down, we will make sure that he has a neck from the front, and also the clavicle is too low. I think the clavicle should be around this area here. The collarbone, if somebody doesn't know what clavicle is. And here, yeah, I don't kind of, I'm not a fan of knowing all the muscles group, the names. It's useful, of course, but you can do without it. It's not a problem if you don't know the names. If you want to be very serious about your anatomy though, probably you should know the names. They're Latin names, but they're pretty logical, so it's not a problem. We'll just make a little hole in here. So from the front, the neck should look like two lines, almost kind of, yeah, exactly parallel. It's not almost, and we should fill it here. So the thing here about this is that it's not low poly, and I'm making huge kind of big changes to the silhouette and everything, and it's not very easy when it's not a low poly. But yeah, we will get used to this. So the easiest way to fix this will be just to smooth like this everything and make it again, but I will not do that. The idea here is to kind of learn what the mistakes are. So first mistake, we don't have nostrils. So the nostrils should be kind of more defined. We have to have a nostrils. Yeah, see my nostrils, like, yeah, see how they're going like this, and then they're going a little bit, you see, inward. So let's make that going from here and dig it, going inward. Also, you see, this plane here is continuing. No, we have almost have this kind of, not almost, but almost always have this kind of a thing that's going from here, is going inward, or even connecting to here. This kind of a bridge. Now, this guy is starting to look a little bit better. His lips, though, from the side view, looks like he's always like this, which is not exactly nice. So what we will do is, just from the side view, we will fix it. And also, we have to pull, because if you see, the nose is going deep into the face, deeper than the lips, than the upper lip here. So the upper lip is here, and the nose is much further back. So either we'll move the upper lip front, which is also an option, and then we'll move the nose front, which is also an option, and then we'll have this kind of a thing that the nose is going to the back. So the nose should have this wideness here. It should be a wide area in, because it was here, you see, not exactly. So I will go and push it back, push back everything, and suddenly it started to look like something, because the nose is pretty important thing. Those two things here, if you notice, they're not that wide. Almost never are that wide. So yeah, basically, maybe there are people like this, like we started in the beginning. There probably are some people like this. For example, burn victims or whatever. But normal, we want to make kind of an average male face. So we have to stick to some rules. Because you can say always, this guy was a victim of some fire, or his face was bitten by a bear or a crocodile. Yeah, okay, but the idea is to make kind of a decent looking human that it's even pleasant for the eyes. So now the nose is a little bit too wide, and maybe if we have time I will show you how to make from European guy to African and maybe Asian even, which is, but this is not the point here. The point is now to just see the main areas that we can improve this concept, or this head in this case. So it's starting to look a little bit more human, a little bit more like nicer, and let's just go with the eyebrows. So the eyebrows, I will make them a little bit more pronounced. So you see on the skull, the eyebrows, you see on the male skull, we have this kind of things here, protrusions, two protrusions. Then we will have, by the way, here is one of the thinnest points of the nose. If you see my nose, you see my nose is pretty big, but this is very wide, it's going, and it's thinner in this area here, where the plane changes from like this, the nose, and then changes to upward. And this plane change happens around the upper side of the eye, around this area, for example. Yeah, so this is okay. Let's put it down a little bit, the nose, and maybe we can push all the face a little bit back. And also this chin is too big, so I will push it a bit upward. And you see how it's starting to look. But for the male face, you see my chin? I'm a male. Basically, yeah. The chin is pretty wide. I mean, this area, which is almost flat here, is not that thin. In this case is like this. In a normal male, it would be, if the mouth is a little bit like this, because his mouth was a little bit too big. The chin will be like kind of this big. Looking fine. It's starting to look, you see, a little there and little there, we didn't make huge changes or something, but it's starting to look fine. The other thing that it's kind of pushing our eyes or just poking our eyes is the lower lip. So never, you see my lower lip, never make the lower lip from, like they teach you in the illustrations, from two parts. Oops, no, not exactly. So don't make it like this from two parts. And here, like this. No, it's just, no. So just feel it. You better make it like flat. Flat will be better than make it from two parts. And also here is, most of the time, is pretty flat. Although the lower lip has its kind of things. For example, let me explain. First, the very big mistakes that rookies are making, which is normal, I used to make it of course, is not pushing enough with the dumb standard brush the corners and the middle part between the lips. Because this is, after all, is kind of a hole in there. Even if your mouth is shut, there should be kind of a visible hole. Not hole, but you have to know that something is there. Also, it's very important, not very important, but it's nice to do this. Just below, on the corners of the lower lip, just to push it a bit. And you see, yeah, I will Control Z a few times, just to see how from this we came to, Control Shift Z is red redo, we came to this, which is a little bit better. And I always kind of use the high polish brush to just stylize it a little bit. Even when I'm making kind of a not stylized character, I like for the beginning stage to stylize it a little bit. So now, you see, it's starting to look pretty decent, but we need to go a little bit deeper. So the nose, of course, will make it shorter, and not shorter, but smaller. And the thing here is that the nose has a structure. It's not like something out of the blue. It has some structure, and we have to make it. And what I like to do is stylize the nose. When I have this kind of a structure, I do this. With a high polish brush, little high polish brush, I just go here, then we go here, then here. I make some planes. See? And this also could be one plane, although if we go a little bit deeper, it's not one plane. It's kind of a here where the bone ends, this bone ends like here, and then it goes a little bit inward, and it's going a little bit rhomboid shape. But for our purposes, we can make it more flat. The eyes are a big problem yet, but we will get to them now. So the eyes are pretty much close together. They are very close together, which is not exactly fine. Also, the upper and lower eyelid are pretty thin. So let's make them a little bit kind of deeper, and then let me just go with a clay tubes brush and just fill this area here to make it more flat. Because the eyelids, maybe you don't notice, but they're pretty thick. They're pretty thick pieces of skin because they have to protect the eye. Especially the upper eyelid. It's thicker than the lower eyelid. That's why, from the side view, the upper eyelid goes a little bit forward. It's not that the upper eyelid is exactly more forward, although it could be, but the idea is that it's a little bit thicker. Even if they are on same level, it's a little bit thicker, so it seems to be going forward. So around the eye area, we also need to make sure we look at the skull and make this kind of the orbit of the eye. So it's very important when we're making a face to look like it has a skull below, I mean inside, because otherwise it will look amorph, it will look without form, which is not good. Also, the upper part of the face now, or the head, because this is the face and this is the head, is not very good. So if you notice my skull, my face, see it. So it has this kind of a arch in here, nice arch, and then we have this part of the skull. It's all skull. It's below the skin is all hard. It's skull, and also here is an indentation. So let's make this on this guy, this part, and then here we'll push it a little bit inward. And yeah, we have to be a little bit kind of cautious about this. It shouldn't be that much. So the other thing, from the middle of the ear a little bit up, frontward, we will have the cheekbone, and the cheekbone will be kind of not visible exactly, but it will make a protrusion almost always. And also we can make a little bit bigger chew muscles on this guy, so his jaw is kind of squarer, and it's starting to look nice, though his head is pretty wide now, because you know, from the drawing probably you know, but if you don't know, I will kind of tell you that the eye, not the eyeball, the eye is kind of 5 times goes into the face, 5 times. So 2 eyes, between them 1 eye, and 1 eye in each side. But in this case it's not like this. Our eyes are too small, or the head is too big, so I will squeeze it more like this, and then I will kind of go down like this, and here this, yeah, the upper part of the head should be a bit wider than the lower part. So the widest point of the head is around this area where my cursor is. You see on the skull, it's here above the ear, around this area. So we have to kind of make it there. And of course something that we shouldn't miss is the ear. Let's mask it, because now it looks like it's not developed at all. It's like a very kind of memory of the ear. So everything else is looking already kind of fine. Although not everything, we will go back and we'll fix some things. But for now, it's okay. Let's fix the ear. How to fix this kind of a thin area of the ear and everything? We need material. To add material, we go to the inflate brush and just inflate the sides of the ear like this. When we inflate the sides of the ear like this, it's going to be the best. No. Of course, we'll have to use various brushes to clean this, and I'm always wondering and always kind of been wondering, yes, how the people are using ZBrush without shortcuts of the brushes. Because I have few brushes, those here, standard, clay tubes, pinch, move, high polish, inflate, down standard. I'm using them all the time. These are my most used brushes when I sculpt. And if I don't have shortcuts on them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, it will be impossible or just super slow to sculpt. So I always say that even beginners, even when they start the program, they should do this. And also I did this in my absolute beginner ZBrush course, of course. That's, yeah, and most of you know that, but yeah, whatever. So we are changing brushes, we are using the move brush, we are using the standard even, we are making the ear. To make the ear, by the way, when I was at university, it was a technical university, and I kind of finished engineer design there. We had a little bit of a sculpting class in the beginning, maybe the first year only, I'm not sure. And one of the tasks was to make an ear, to make it from clay, and then to kind of make other things. But the idea is many people were making ears without looking at someone's ears or pictures of ears, and those ears were kind of hilarious. So you have to just, you know, nowadays you have internet, you have everything, and you can always look at pictures of ears and just do it very easily. it's not a big deal. I mean, yeah, first time when you do an ear, it will be hard. Second time will be hard. The 10th time will be a little bit easier. But you have to just continue doing it. So now I'm making those protrusions here. I don't know if they're visible, but yeah, they're visible on the stream. I'm not sure. I'm sure it's not a stream, by the way. I'm always recording them before that because I'm not sure at what time I will have time to kind of do videos, so I don't do lives yet. But I plan to do them sometime. Nowadays I probably would have no more than 100 people watching my lives, which is okay. I think 100 people is fine. I'm not sure how many people are watching the other Zbrush YouTubers that are making lives. So, okay, from the side view, he looks a little bit strange, but if we kind of experiment and with a big move brush push a little bit the head back, you can see the nose, the nose and the area around it, just push it back. We can kind of do it. Also, we can try to push forward all the face like this and push back a bit on the sides. Thank you, Zbrush. Amazing timing. I was just kinda, but whatever. Okay, so what am I noticing here? The upper lip is not exactly fine, because from the bottom view, it shouldn't be that cut in here. It should be a little bit more like flat. And also we will fill this a bit. And let me kind of tell you a little bit of the face anatomy. So here, just near the corners of the lips, we have these protrusions, which are kind of muscles going there, a lot of muscles, and it's a little bit bulging in here. Almost in all people we have that bulge, and it's good to have it. Below that bulge we have a fat tissue. So here we have a fat tissue. Of course, we shouldn't make it exactly like this. We should just make it a little bit more we should make a little bit of a form there, but very smooth. Not quite good. So when we go alt, this fat tissue plus the other one here, it goes down and it makes this kind of a form in the middle of the jaw here when we are alt like this. Along with this fat pad in here. We have a fat pad in this area. So when we go with this and this, we go alt. And we also have fat pads in this area. 1, 2, and maybe 3 fat pads here with a different shape. And they're making... yeah, this is the result of some very bad plastic surgery. So, what I like to do with males is I go to the standard brush and I dig a little bit, yeah, I dig a little bit here. So we have this area. If you touch in here, you will notice it's hard because this is this part of the eye orbit here. And then from there, this is kind of a thing, and then we go down. But now with the down standard brush, we go down along the a little bit further from the mouth, like 1 or 2 centimeters from the mouth. I'm not sure how much, but we dig there, and we go down like this. And if we go again with the standard brush, and then we smooth it. And we smooth it a lot in this area because it's almost invisible here. You notice how it's kind of looking nice. And also we can kind of go from the bottom of the cheekbone here, and also we can kind of make a little bit of the chewing muscle. So the chewing muscle is starting from this area here, which is the cheekbone, the beginning of the cheekbone, and going backward. But sometimes here you can see few kind of bumps, especially if we are kind of chewing. Yeah, we have this kind of thing. And we smooth, always smooth. So you see how the face started to have shapes, and those shapes are making it look more believable. It's not a morph, it has some skull in it. Even I am a little bit making some things a little bit more, a little bit enforcing them. But this is because I need you to kind of understand what's happening. Yeah, I'm not the best kind of a face guy. There are a lot of guys that are understanding face anatomy much better than me, because they are doing, especially those guys that are doing likenesses, and they are doing likenesses very good. They know kind of more, but it is, I can teach you the basics. It's not a big issue. So we have a fat pad also in this area here below the nose. But remember, on the side of the nostrils, I mean, remember, if you want your guy to look old, make sure that those are kind of visible a lot. If you want your guy to look young, smooth them a lot in this area. Just leave them a little bit in here. Just leave this kind of a hint of a fat pad going, and then just lose it. And the guy will look younger. I will push the lip a bit back. So for 25 minutes, I think we have done a great job. It's looking kind of good. Maybe again, when I see the video after that, I will be like, oh man, you should do this, you should do this, you should fix this, this, this. But now, I'm thinking that it's looking good. Okay. Maybe someday when I get good with this kind of recording thing, I can make a video about how to make videos. But not now. Now I will only tell you that I kind of always make my videos with this t-shirt because I like the blue, and exactly this t-shirt. And when I was making one of my courses, one of the latest courses, I'm not sure which one was that, but I wore this t-shirt for a month every night when I'm recording, because I'm recording mostly in the evening and in the night when my kids are in bed. And it was pretty smelly at the end of the course. The last videos of the course were like, and I was putting a perfume in here just to feel good, you know, to be cheerful, because otherwise I will be like, oh, all the time, which is not good. So yeah, this is just a kind of a curious fact. Then I put it into the washer, and I washed it, but yeah. So yeah, here we can make a little bit of inflate a little bit those things, smooth them. You see? Nice. So still the head looks a little bit wide. So let's try to, with the move brush, and here also, to move it, to make it not so wide. And also the nose looks pretty wide also. We can, yes. So the idea is about the nose is the following. So we have the nostril, which is very prominent in this area and this area, and not so prominent here. So here in this area we just push and then smooth, and then with the pinch brush and alt we can go and then smooth again, and you see we'll have it, but not quite. I mean, from this it will be not so visible. Don't make it like this, for example. It will not look very nice. So be careful about this in this area here. The other thing, the front part of the nose, we can kind of make a plane in here, planes in the bottom, and it depends on the nose, but it could have like separation here, because we have two parts of the nose like this here, and those are the nostrils, and those parts are here, and we have kind of the bone in here, and then we have something like this, but whatever, it's we can smooth it and it will look kind of nice. Also, even my nose has this kind of a separation a little bit in the middle. Yeah, you see? Here, separation in the middle. It's pretty big, by the way. It's pretty huge. It's normal, most people kind of have it, more or less. So, what I like to do is, on the bottom lip, I like to make this kind of a lip. And then here, not so much. I mean, only in the middle part of the bottom lip. And also this guy has a pretty big lower lip, which is not very nice. For a guy, I will just make it a bit smaller with the move brush. And the chin is not having any kind of form. I will push the form into it just a bit. And then we can make Henry Cavill think on the chin, or Superman thing, which is kind of nice. And I always look at my kind of skull or face from the side view, from 3/4 view, because from 3/4 view sometimes it looks like this, which is not good. You know, if we do this and we look it from the front, it kind of can pass to something, but from here it's awful. So most of the time we don't have too much protrusion here on the male face. You see, we have this kind of eyebrow ridges or whatever, and even we can make a bit of a brow, because without brow it looks a little bit odd. It looks like a Dr. Manhattan with these white eyes and everything, but it will always look like this. If you put some eyelids, eyelashes, and some on the eye, if we go on the eye, yeah, I have to find now our thing. Yeah, this is it. Yeah, if we go on the we can turn it on. I have a lot of this because I was practicing. I have a lot of other, because you know, again, I'm not making the video without practice. Yeah, I was practicing for 2 days or something, but still, or 3. Still, I was practicing to see how fast I can achieve the result, what exactly are the problems I was analyzing it, and those things, all those things. And yeah, not going into it like empty-handed, no. I was prepared. I was having the backpack with all the necessary stuff in my head. So from the side view it doesn't look super nice, especially the nose area, but we can work it out a bit, like this. From the front view it's looking kinda good. We can still make this down, smooth it, and have this as a plane change a little bit. You see here, it's a little like a plane change. And this, by the way, should go in my face, you see, is going from the top of the, from the top here. It doesn't come from here, you see, no. It's going from the top area of the nostril. It's going down almost to the sides, but not exactly to the sides. There is a distance between the side of the mouth and this kind of line. So we have to be careful about that. And this line, I told you, is mostly about this fat tissue here. The fat tissue which is in this area. And there is a fat tissue in this area. There's a fat tissue here. And here, by the way, is the muscles. Those things that are at the corner of the mouth. That's that protrusion there. It's not a fat tissue. It's a few muscles which are going there. So I will smooth this out because I don't like it to be that intrusive. Then I will make this kind of lines and smooth it again. Yeah, when sculpting, you have to make forms, maybe a little bit extensive forms, make them a little bit more powerful, and then smooth them out. They shouldn't be, most of the time, super hard, except if you are doing a very old man or something, then they could be hard. So the ear maybe could be smaller. And when I'm rotating the face, I'm seeing it's kind of fine, although I can make those protrusions in the skull in here. Yes. And also, I think from the side view, it's a little bit too much. I will make it like this. And then this. What I like to do here is, you see how the chin area is pretty big on this guy, because it's a male. If it was female, the chin will not be that much. I mean, yeah, I turned off the perspective, and as I told you, when I do heads, probably some of you already know, I do a perspective of 85 here in Zbrush. The default is 50. 85 is a little bit better for heads. So the face is looking kind of nice, and you have to be careful around this area to have this kind of a eye orbit defined a little bit. Then we have a fat pad, by the way, fat tissue here above the eyelid. And if our guy is frowning, and most of the time men on pictures or something are frowning, there are this kind of wrinkles that are going on. And you see how now it's frowning, and also we can make a bit of a skin detail on the forehead here. Just but everything is symmetrical now. Yeah, some guy was saying in the comments of my previous video that I hope someday you start something asymmetrical from start to finish and make it. Well, yeah, it will be cool, but it will take double the time, which I don't have. I do my videos for an hour or even less if I can, so I cannot afford that much. I don't do speed ups or something. Maybe I will do sometimes, someday. Who knows? We'll see. So yeah, I kind of like him, although his eyes are a little bit big, so maybe we can make them a bit smaller. You see, the upper eye, since this kind of a fat pad is pushing it, fat pad is pushing it, it could have like, from here, the form will be like this. From here, we'll have like the upper eyelid going upward and a little bit like this, then almost flat, and then a little bit down. And this will look more manly. The female eyes are almost the same, so it's so we go to the eye, and let's try. Okay, big. Maybe like this. Yeah, you see? It's kind of nicer. Of course, I don't know. Yeah, let's make it. Why not? Why not? Let's see. So the eyeballs are pretty big. They are kind of a little bit bigger than I would imagine them to be, but whatever. It's I don't want to change them now exactly, because all the practices I've done was with these eyelids. So yeah. Let's fill it with black. Let's inflate it a bit with the inflate brush. Let's Control D to have more subdivisions. Oops. Control D. And then let's kind of go with this color on the bottom part especially. On the top part we can have a little bit of a darker color, and then in the middle, no, first we will have a bit of a this, and then very dark color for the iris here, for this kind of the hole. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, it's a little bit strange that he's black and white, but his eyes are colorful, but whatever, yeah. So this guy is very mad. I think we should smile him a little bit. Come on, man, don't be so mad. It's okay, it's okay. I know that you were a burn victim before, I made you this plastic surgery, now you look very good. So, be cheerful, be happy, go on with your life. You see, find a girl, be happy. And that's my advice, by the way, on everybody, especially the girls. Find a girl, be happy. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. This is a little bit too much. And here we have some forms that I don't completely like. I will smooth them. But overall it's kind of nice. The chest area is not good. We may want to fix it a little bit. I will inflate it with the inflate brush. I will flatten it with the high polish brush. I will go with the... Let me show you now. So this is the clavicle or the collarbone. Then here it will be kind of a piece of the back, the scapula. And then the scapula will go like this in the back. So the traps will be attached to the front a little bit to the clavicle or the collarbone. Then they will be attached to the scapula in the back. And then they will go like down. They're very, by the way, it's very complex muscles. Now, one of the most complex muscles. in my opinion, like the form of the traps is very interesting. Wow, the traps are... Yeah, this guy is kind of strong. I mean, he was training, even when he was burned victim, he was kind of a strong, but his posture was not nice. So we made him kind of a full rejuvenation, if you can say. The back of the ears we can touch a little bit. And the ears, let me see if they're on the right place. A little bit maybe on the front they can go. I'm talking like Yoda. A little bit on the front they can go, my young Padawan. Alright, now we will push this, and this is the Adam apple, this is the collarbone here. It's attaching to the collarbone with kind of a thin line. So here this muscle is pretty huge, and then it's attached here with a thin piece, and then it has also attachment on this area. That's why from the front it looks like it's kind of flat down and a little bit like this. But yeah, maybe about those things we will talk more about those anatomy things in my superhero anatomy course that I plan to do. And why superhero? Because superheroes has a lot of muscles, a lot of definition, and we can check out any muscle and any definition. I'm still wondering which hero I will do, but we'll see. And also I will be pretty pleased to do some muscular man superhero with a pose and everything, because I kinda am a fan, yeah, of those movies and everything. I like it. Okay, now he's looking fine, but let's try to make him Afro-American. What can we do about it? So the eyes will become will be still blue, so it will be a little bit interesting, but let's see. So we push forward, and the nose we push backward, and the nose we push downward, and also make it a bit more wide. And the lips, of course, we should push them a bit upward, and the lower lip too. Yeah, it will not be the best example probably, but it's kinda working. I'll push it a little bit upward, and the nose maybe a little bit backward, and suddenly you'll see he's starting to look a bit like an African guy. Okay. Yeah, if we want to make from this, if we want to make, it's a very fast, I mean, there are a lot of different things that we can do. The nose is not exactly what it is, but yeah, it's kind of this thing. Basic. Yeah, maybe we can push the mouth and the lips a little bit bigger. It's kind of easy switch. It's not exactly the... You see? Very fast. So, I want to make him Asian. What I will do? I will push everything back like this. And the nose will make a little bit like this. The Asian thing probably will not work that much, but yeah. Yeah, the Asians, all the Asians have this kind of a, not all, but yeah, most of them has this kind of a flat, more flat face. You see here how from the eyes down to the cheekbone, and down here the teeth are much in front. Oh, the Asians, they are almost at one level. So of course, for this to work, we have to make Asian eyes. And the Asians, they have upper eyelids and everything, but they have more kind of a little bit of interesting fat tissue here. in the top. That's why their eyes looks more like yeah. And also we can make it do it like this, and the lips, of course. But the lips could be like this. He could be a Mongolian, not a Chinese or Japanese or something. And of course, this eye ridges could be different. Yeah, he's it's not exactly an Asian type, but it's a little bit like this. Yeah, he could pass for some Mongolian guy or something. Maybe. Ah. Ooh, the nose is too much. Too much. Yeah. Maybe the African guy was kind of a better working for me. So I will go with Control Z a lot now. So we can go back to our guy before the transformations. I think this was him. Yes. This is our guy, and I can make a little bit of a blackening here, blackening in here, so I can fake a little skin tones. The lips, but we have to be careful with the skin tones on the male, since the lips shouldn't be very, you know, pronounced. Of course we can pronounce the eyebrows as much as we can, as much as we want, and he will look more masculine like this. He looks a little bit like me, not too much. Don't say that I'm doing myself, although it's not an issue. By the way, I tried to do myself at one of the trials, and I will show you. It was not very successful. I look a little bit older in my opinion, but it's some kind of, yeah. Okay, I think it's kind of fine most of the time. Most of the things are good. Let's leave it like this, and let's see the other trials that I did. So this was one of them. This was like yesterday. Yeah, maybe the idea here, the problem here is that he looks, by the way, super Russian, this guy. At least I view it like this. Russian, with like this look of boredom a little bit on his eyes. This is an old guy, some old guy, because he has this kind of a fat pads here, more pronounced this area, and with the thinner lips. This guy is awful because his face is too small, everything is very small, so we can, you know, even I'm making kind of a feedback on my own models. His big mouth, and yeah, he has issues, but he can be easily fixed. His eyes look severe big. This guy is kind of a little bit more stylized, but yeah. Probably the head is, now it's better. Yeah. Yeah, with few pushes here and there of the proportions, we have to experiment with that. This guy also is a little bit, yeah, maybe the mouth is bigger, but it's nice. This guy, this is the original guy. This guy is me. Yeah, it doesn't work that much. I mean, it's yeah, from the profile view, it's almost me. I looked at me in the mirror and I was just trying to achieve myself for half an hour, but it's not working. That this is not working. I mean, I have to spend a lot more time. And this is again this is the first try, by the way. Again, a little bit strange, because I didn't pay attention too much to the neck area, and also his head is a bit too wide, and the ears are not in the right place, and the head is not very good. Yes, we have a bit of things to do here, but yeah, at some point it's working. Yeah, and the overall thing goes, yeah, we should not do it too much. So where is our last guy? This is it. This is him. This is our guy that we did now. Turns out good. And this is before. A little bit of an alien, a little bit of a burn victim, it's okay. This is after. So in order to make heads, in order to make human heads, because I get people that are trying to make heads and they are not good in anatomy and everything, I myself also very much like to make human heads. Female, male, whatever, I just love to do them, but I love to do them from start, from sphere, to kind of this level of completion. After that, I don't like. Because this level is where you have the waveforms and everything, you have to go to detail. I don't like that. I don't like detail, I don't like pores. It's boring for me. I like the creation process. I like the overall shapes when they come together and suddenly you have a character which is looking good. So this will be it for this video. I kind of sucked through my fingers a little bit, like from the 35 minutes mark onward, but I hope it was interesting for you. If this video kind of is accepted well, I can do next series. Some other guy will give me his sculpt to fix, and yeah, there will always be people that needs help, and this video I hope will help much more people than only the guy who gave me the head to make. So let's just put them side by side just to see how they look. How am I doing this? I'm just pressing Shift S. Shift S is leaving the current position of your model like a screenshot on your screen, and then you can put something else or other model, and you can put everything. So you see, from this to this. Looks perfect. Okay, bye for now, take care, and see you in another video. I'm sorry that this video was so soon after the last one, but I just felt like this will be kind of a useful thing for everybody, for me too, because the exercises I learned a lot. I mean, not a lot, but I learned kind of a few things during my exercising. And it was fine. It was good for me, hopefully good for you. See you in the next one. Thank you.